Hey everyone, Dr. Andrea here. We are here for our live lesson number 35. We are rounding out the end of this year with our live lesson. Let me grab my phone so I can make sure I can be seen and heard. When you come in, say hello. When you come in, say hello so that we know that you are there. Let me make sure you can see and hear me. Okay, looks good. Y'all, I got my rocking my KBLN gear. Y'all probably, I have not marketed this at all. It's actually in the Agape Life clothing shop. So if you're interested in any of this stuff that I'm going to start wearing more often, you can definitely check that out. So we're talking about goals and goal setting and all these different things. We've been talking about this for not quite a while. It feels like a while. It feels like a while to me because I've been in this mode ever since October. So, but this is goal and implementation month. Last month we talked about goals and strategy as well. So we only have this live lesson and next week's live lesson where we are going to be before the end of the year, right? So, we have a shortened month because we are running into the holiday. So with my mastery students, I say students, members, we're going to be doing our last session, our spiritual development intensive on stewarding goals with faith. And then we'll have this live lesson, and then you guys will be able to go back to all the material that you might have missed, and you have some time to look at it, which will be good. You guys will have a new course coming up in the first quarter in there, just in and around making sure you have your proper infrastructure and everything is built to last. And that might be the title of it. I haven't thought of a title. Probably I'll add kingdom, but built to last maybe. But that will be part of the membership. So there's going to be some new things there as well. So wait to see. And I think for everyone else, I will be doing a flash opening period sometime this month, maybe for about 48 hours for people that want to jump in and be part of the Mastery membership. We have the Kingdom Business Collective, which is the part of our membership that is free, that we give free value to you and give you a community that you can engage in of kingdom entrepreneurs. And then we have our mastery level of our membership, which is the level of membership where you do deep dives, when you have accountability very regularly, where you get taught in and around all the things that it takes, all the detailed part of the things that it takes to run a kingdom business successfully, to be able to hear the voice of God successfully and walk in your spiritual gifts. So saying all that, I will introduce myself. I don't take it for granted that everyone knows me, because there's some people that will come into our groups that are brand new. But my name is Dr. Andrea, and I am the founder of the Kingdom Business Leadership Network. I am a business and a health strategist, minister, speaker, author, all these different things, but really just advocate for you all. So we are teaching and training new and emerging entrepreneurs, and more so authors, speakers, service providers, coaches, people like that, to really hone in and monetize their platforms. That's the main thing. And as we do that, we are teaching them to hear the voice of God clearly and to walk powerfully in their spiritual gifts. So everything that we do is surrounding that. We have podcasts, we have our group, we have a number of resources, courses, classes, all these different things. So if that's of interest to you, make sure you go to our website or go to the kbln.com/connect, and you can see some of the resources that we have there. So let's jump right in. So in the last few weeks, we have been talking about in and around this particular issue. So we have been talking about vision, purpose, and destiny. That was one of our previous live lessons, goal setting, endurance. And today and next week, we're going to be talking about actually implementation, because you can do all this nice and beautiful planning, but if you are not implementing, what's the point and what's the purpose? So you can have all the goals you want to have, but if you do not have a plan, your goals will fail. And that's just the reality of it. There's a not a scripture, but a saying. They say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that's it's a famous saying. It's a kind of cliche type saying, but it is so very true. So many of us start out with really good intentions. We're really motivated and excited. And then when the first challenge comes, we'll be talking about challenges next week. But when the first challenge comes, you kind of, you don't know what to do. It's almost like it knocks you down. And some people don't get back up. But in this community, in our collective community, and in our mastery group community, we have one another to help keep us up. You're going to be seeing a lot of new things. You guys know this was the first year of KBLN. So kind of testing a bunch of stuff. But next year, you're going to see a bunch of new stuff. Mastery and collective members that will be coming out, part of my goals. And, you'll see some of those things. So just to review, if you did not see our last live lesson, or not our last one, but the one before that where we talked about setting goals, which was in November, when we talked about setting goals, we talked about different areas to set goals in. If you have not seen that live lesson, go back. It is live lesson number 33. So it should be in this group if you're watching this from the group, or if you're watching it from another place, you'll see where to go for that video. But in the groups where this is originally filmed, in the Facebook groups, you guys already have it within your portals, or you should. Now, Mastery members, you have it in your portal and in the vault. So, or will have it in the vault. It needs to be uploaded. But we talked about some different areas, and I'm not going to go deep into these different areas because I'm going to try not to be with you guys super, super long. Hey there, whoever jumped on. I cannot see your name, but I'm going to go and look and see. Number 35. Okay, I'm sorry about that, y'all. I was trying to jump on here and actually see who jumped on. Okay, I still can't see it, but it's all right. It is okay. And then, so let me get back to the areas to set goal. I got distracted here. So the areas that we set goals in is first spiritual goals. And we went through a little bit about that, spending time in the Word, reading specific books, growing deeper in God. Family goals. So goals for your spouse, children, relationships, quality time, some things, maybe prayer requests for your family, financial goals. We know what that means, the type of money you want to make, preparation, career goals, the different types of wealth strategies you want to have. We talked about health goals, eating lifestyle, weight loss, things like that, exercise. You guys know what health goals are. And these are all the different types of goals that you can set. We talked about education goals, certifications, classes, conferences, personal development things that you want to do. You should be having civic or community goals where you donate your time, your talent. Goals in and around, this is under civic and community, recreation and vacation. You should be taking vacations. So we talked about this kind of at length in live lesson 34. So go back if you did not see that. If I realized, I didn't realize I was on my public page. So if you're on the public page and you don't see it, all of these videos are not posted on the public page. You're gonna have to join the group to see everything. But thank you for joining me at any rate. And then finally, personal and self-care. So that is things you want to purchase for yourself. If you want to do the massage, spa, all these things, have your own me days, counseling. We talked about all of those. So let me get into the meat of what we were talking about. So implementation strategies. And really, implementation strategies is pretty much developing a plan. So we're going to talk through that. So once you got your goals written down, right? And this can be before you have it written down, or if you already have them written down. As you guys know, I start my Q4 with praying already and writing things down as God gives them to me. So I'm 3 months in my regular devotional time, in my regular prayer time, seeking the Lord for, okay, what do you want me to do? And he's given me different courses, different classes, different things that he wants to see happen. And it was even, within that same time frame. Just got a strong unction that this is the time to strategize and be thinking about this. And I don't believe that's just me. I mean, last year, I think I started in December, maybe November, December. And this time it's been August and even a little bit before August. So we need to just settle it in our hearts that this is the way that we're going to live. I've always been an individual that's always set goals and made plans and things like that. And I haven't accomplished everything, but I definitely wrote it down. I did what Habakkuk 4 or 2 says, talking about write the vision, make it plain. I wrote the things down so that I can refer to them and go back. And I have stuff that I've written from years and years and years ago, 20 years ago. And I can look back at those things and like, wow, I did that. It might not happen that year, but I was having a prophetic insight when doing that. So I didn't have my timing correctly. Timing has always, in the past at least, I've learned, been an issue, but it was the right things. So talking about timing, the first thing that we need to look at when we're developing a plan is figuring out our time frame. Are your goals going to be yearly? Are they going to be 5-year? Are they going to be 10-year? Sometimes when you're just starting this process, you might want to just start with the 1 year, but you want to look to possibly doing 5-year and 10-year. And 5-year and 10-year goals aren't going to be as detailed, but they could be depending on if you want them to be more detailed. But I'm going to focus in on yearly, because we are business and leadership people. So yearly goals, you want to further segment down to either quarterly and or monthly. What I do is I start quarterly and I drill down monthly, and you can even drill down even further to weekly. And that's what we do in the mastery group. Is every week we have a post that talks about what goals do you have this week, because your weekly goals feed into your monthly goals, which feed into your yearly goal. So you shouldn't have a problem in putting something down if you're doing your work, right? Now, some of us can't really say what our goals are because we're not, and I talked to our mastery people yesterday about this. We're not serious enough about our business. We're treating our business like a hobby, right? So we're treating our business, hey, Sharice, we're treating our business like a hobby. You're going to have hobby money and not business money, right? So we need to devote the proper time and energy, effort, money into our business, and not treat our businesses or even ministries like hobbies. Okay, we got to get serious. So I'm not gonna go back there. Mastery students, y'all got the brunt of that yesterday. But we need to figure out our time frame when we're developing our plan. So quarterly or monthly. Quarterly, I feel like, is the best. And when you do quarterly, you can, if you're building content, or you can have a quarter. That quarter, you're going to have a theme around it. I love themes. It makes it easy to do things. I actually do monthly themes. And then you can have quarterly themes as well, because you can find topics for content and build your content ladder. So it's easy for you to have social media posts. It's easy for you to have just different things all within that content. And those content should be areas of pain points that you're dealing with. And remember, if you remember all the way back to the beginning of everything that we've talked about, I've always talked about pain points, that you should know your audience's pain points and what's going to bring them to their transformation. So, okay, that's your developing your plan. And if you do a 5-year plan, you probably need to segment it into years. So in year 1 of my 5-year plan, I want this to happen year 2, year 3, year 4, and all of that. So moving on. Hey, I need to really look and see who's on here. Welcome, everyone. We're talking about, what are we talking about? Goal implementation and strategies. The first part, we are going to talk more about, okay, now I'm seeing everyone. Hey, Kim, that was Kim that said that. Hey, Benita, Sharice. Okay, now I can see you guys on my phone. So let's see. So the next thing about developing your plan is praying and brain dump. And those things you wouldn't think go together, but praying and brain dumping does go together. So I'm sorry, I am trying to get a screenshot here because I'm trying to be more faithful with my social media. So I'm taking pictures of when I'm up here so we can have it. So y'all humor me. But at any rate, we are going to need to be praying. We need to be praying for God's strategy for our life and our business. So with that, that's something that can start way before you start writing. And it should start way before you start writing, because we don't want to be individuals that at the last minute we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. That is not uh, professional when it comes to your business. Like I said, we treat businesses like businesses and not like hobbies. So we have to be praying for God's strategy over our life and business. And I say life really because when you are a person that has an organization, ministry, or business, your life will happen. You have to realize major life events that are happening. Maybe you have a major life event that you're planning with your family and you want to do a conference. Don't plan the conference around and in the same time period of that major life event. Okay. Things like that. But you need to think through that beforehand. Like, you don't say, I want to have a conference in March, and then you also have, maybe you're still doing something, you have a big project at your 9 to 5 right in and around that time. You don't want to do that together. And that's something that I had to learn the hard way, being working as a Bible school teacher in a collegiate higher education level Bible college. There are certain seasons where it's just rough and it's difficult to do anything, and there's extra work, it's overtime, it's all these things. So I'm not going to plan a big event with my business in that same time. So we got to really pay attention to that. But the only way you pay attention to that is if you are planning. If you have children and they have major school events during certain times of the year, or just things are going on, you have to be able to plan your business around that, because we don't want to give up our relationships and our children and all these different things, spouses and all these different things for sake of our business. It's so many individuals. And I talked about it on another platform, where you have people that have businesses and just high level leaders and things like that they sacrifice their relationships for the sake of their business and different things like that. So their marriage doesn't work out, their children, they don't have a great relationship with their children or their family members, all these things. But as kingdom people, as Christian people, we don't want that to be our testimony. We want to be able to say that we were able to conquer all, meaning we were able to conquer this mountain of business, and we're able to have a successful family and home life as well. So that's not what we want. Yeah, if you guys knew how many women I knew that in the midst of them being extremely successful in their business, they ended up in divorce because they focused so much in on the business, they did not focus in on their relationship with their spouse. That happens so often, and they're 6-7 figure earners, and then they look up and they don't have anybody around them to actually celebrate that with. So we have to be very careful that we are still honoring God, honoring our family, and honoring those things that are most important to us. So like I said, you pray and you brain dump. First one was figuring out your time frame. We talked about yearly, quarterly, monthly, 5-year, and 10-year. And then number 2, pray and brain dump. So praying God's strategy, write down what you get from God. And part of writing down what you get means you need to be able to hear the voice of God. Those that have not already gotten my free toolkit around hearing the voice of God for your business, you need to get that. If you have ever had any type of issues with hearing the voice of God, mastery students, y'all don't worry about that. That's already in your vault, because that was one of your very first master classes. So you guys already have that. But everybody else, collective folks, everybody else, definitely you got to know how to hear the voice of God clearly as much as you can. Number 3, how do you develop a plan? Remember, we're talking about the different the different strategies around set and implementing your goal. This is, I don't have a lot of scripture today. This is just basic stuff that we can do. And the thing that makes it seems very simple, it seems very easy, but when you don't do it, how hard is that? The next one is getting community or have accountability, meaning having someone to work with you on your goals. So I'm doing some things, and let me say why that's important. So you can have another set of eyes, someone you trust, actually look at that, ask you questions, and try to kind of go through and like what's happening, how are you going to do that? What have you thought about this? All those different types of things. in the mastery group, we're actually going to do a session. So when I do that flash sale or a flash opening, I should say, here in December, I haven't decided when, people can get in on that because we're going to do we're actually going to do a work session, like a 2 or 3 hour work session where we're working with one another on the goals. We'll have a in-person version and an online version as well. There'll be a cost to the individuals that aren't part of our membership. I know the membership people won't have a cost, but like collective people or anybody else. But we're going to be working through everything that I've talked about in these last 2 months. You'll have some resources and things like that to help you as well. So having someone to work with, and that's having someone to work with you on your goals. Pay attention to this. Pay attention to that. So they'll have worksheets and things like that. We'll have worksheets and things that you can actually look and utilize that will help you in all of this process here. So that is so super important, because if you are new to these things, you don't know what you're supposed to be writing. So the ask right now, if you're going to join us for our work day, great, because we'll be able to lead you and help you. But the ask right now is just for you to do the praying and the thinking of the things that you want to do. And one thing I see entrepreneurs and even organizational and ministry leaders do, they put their 5-year goal within that first year, that 1 year. So for example, let's say you want to make $10,000 in a month and you're not making $300 in a month. So a better goal would not be for the 10,000, but maybe for like a $500 or $600 a month. And in that, you develop a plan that's more than what you did to make the $300 to make the $500. And then you just scale from there. Thank God if you blow your plan out of the water and you make $1,000, but a lot of people are wanting to make different amounts, but they're not looking at things like, okay, do I have enough product or services to sell to people to equal this amount? Yesterday, my mastery people know we had our masterclass. I was going in on people just having one product. One product does not work. You have one product that's a $10 book, that's not going to work. You have, maybe if you have 2 products, they're both like $10 or $12, but you want to make $10,000 in a month, that doesn't make sense. You have to have a whole, maybe not even a whole product suite, but you have to have more than that. So how many books would it take you to sell to make $10,000 in a month? That's like thousands of books. Are you really going to be able to do that? So those are the types of things that somebody else that's been in this thing for a little bit longer, or just anybody else that's just looking at what you're saying and asking you these hard questions that will make you say, okay, well, maybe you need to put that $10,000 a month goal, looking at where you're at right now, put that for a couple of years down the line so you can build and scale, develop an audience and all these different things, so that you won't look and set this way astronomical goal and then it doesn't work out. So that's what I'm talking about. That's why we need one another, to have someone work on your goals with you. Number 4, review your wins, challenges, and setbacks from your previous year. And this is so important. Maybe you didn't have anything that you were doing the year before, and that's fine. But for those that were doing things, review your wins, your challenges, your setbacks from your previous year. How do you do that? What we realize when we look at these things, our wins, our challenges, our setbacks, there's always a story that is being told. And part of this is looking at your numbers and looking at your analytics. The numbers always tell a story, right? So, if you never posted, your numbers will tell you that. Your insights will tell you that. If you're are not producing content, all your numbers will tell you that. Or if you are producing content, but you didn't have much reach, those are things that you need to look at and say, okay, what do I need to do to change these things, right? Maybe I need to start boosting some of my posts or doing Facebook ads for my things. Maybe I need to have a better email marketing strategy. Maybe I need to have a marketing plan because I don't have a marketing plan. All these things you need to be looking at and focus in on certain things. Like part of my thing next year, I told the mastery students as well, I'm focusing in on collaborations. I've already started on that. Focusing in hard on collaborations, focusing in on my podcast, focusing in on certain things that I know is going to expand and grow my particular audience. So those are some of the things that are my major goals for the business. Collaborations, email marketing, some very foundational thing, growing my list, part of email marketing, just very, very, very foundational things, and working on products, certain products and courses. So I'm already thinking, and I already have those things kind of laid out. And now I'm at the point of, I just need to put it on the calendar. Right. So that's kind of where you should be thinking about and what you should be doing. If you're thinking of publishing, and I know most of you guys are authors, publishing maybe some different books, print books or ebooks, whatever you're thinking of doing, you need to kind of have it on there. Okay. Because I have a couple books for my first quarter, and it's a bit ambitious, but I have some books that I want coming out that first quarter, a print book and ebooks. So you got to know, and you have to know yourself. I know myself. And if I can focus in on doing things, I can like y'all saw it, crank a book out in a week. It can be done. So, and that was a print book, which are some of the harder books to do. But how much easier will an ebook be able to crank out? Maybe I can do that in 3 days. And if I know I can do it in 3 days, I can, develop a formula and a system and keep cranking those things out and making it easier on myself. So those are the things we need to think of. Those are the things we need to know ourselves, know who we are, know our bandwidth. Next week, we're going to be talking about overcoming challenges with implementation. So we're going to be talking through knowing strongholds that you need to overcome, that you have, your lack of time, you have lack of information, lack of discipline, lack of consistency. I know Mastery people members, we talked about this a little bit already. So those are things that we're going to talk about, because even you can have the best plan in the world, but if you're dealing with any of these, it's not going to work. So the last thing I have for today, we talked, let me review since we're here and I'm right on time. We talked about the areas to set goals, but then how do you develop a plan, figure out your time frame? Number one, do you want to be doing yearly goals, 5-year or 10-year goals? And then you further segment down. So yearly, you segment quarterly and monthly. 5-year, you go year by year. 10-year, maybe every 2 years or 3 years, you're writing goals. Number two, pray and brain dump. So pray and write down what God is saying, so you can get, and this is for your whole entire life, you can get strategy. You want to be able to hear his voice. Number three, get in community or have some type of accountabilities. Have someone else work with you on your goals. I'm putting things in place for that. I have a product, a do-it-yourself type product where you can purchase the product and I will help you go through your goals. You will go through your goals by going through the videos, doing the workbook and stuff. And then we also have an actual goal work day coming up online and in person in January. I'll release that date pretty soon here. So, that's that part. So we're doing that part. The next one is number 4, reviewing your wins, your challenges, and setbacks from the previous year. We talked about that, looking at your numbers, looking at analytics, looking at all those things. And this is not like a one-day process. This is something that you're actually going to have to focus on, be intentional about. And it might be a 1 day or it might be a 2-day process, right? You just got to have to devote some time to it. And if you don't have any numbers, that's not a bad thing. You're starting from the beginning. You're like, I need to start. And some of y'all are in that place where you haven't done anything except got a lot of information, listening to all these videos, but you haven't actually executed. So your biggest thing, some of you guys, your main goal for 2021 is execution. You just need to do something. You need to do a live. You need to publish your book. You need to publish the ebook, whatever it is. You need to implement that new strategy or a strategy. You're getting so much information. And we talked about imposter syndrome. That's one of my ebooks coming out next year. But your procrastination is one of the manifestations of imposter syndrome. So some of you guys are really suffering and working on that, or working in that. So the last thing is your writings, to start writing. Remember to make SMART goals. So we know what SMART goals are. I talked to you guys 2 weeks ago, well, not 2 weeks ago, in November, about SMARTer goals, which one of the people I follow, Michael Hyatt, uses, but they're specific, measurable, actionable, risky, time-bound, exciting, and relevant. You guys can go back to that live lesson number 33, and you can learn more about those. But build your plan thinking through how to overcome what has held you back previously, and build a system of looking at your goals weekly. So we're going to talk more about this. That's all I have for you tonight. We're going to talk more about this next week. We're going to be talking about overcoming challenges with this implementation. Remember that we are not going to be having any video content the last 2 weeks of this month because of the holiday. And I think we're going to go into the first week of January as well. So that's for time for you guys to strategize, to think through, to review, to do all these things to get with the Lord. You might see some pre-recorded stuff pop up. It just depends, because the pre-recorded stuff is kind of easy to do. So you'll probably see some of that. The quick wins are coming back. I took November off unintentionally, but those short quick win videos with helpful hints and tips and tricks and things to help you move your business forward, those are coming back. Actually filming one right after this. So there's things that you're going to see. Let's start this next year off with a bang, right? Going into it with a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, so we can get some things done. Let's support each other and hold one another accountable. So that's all I have for you guys. You guys know these live lessons are very quick. If you want to find out more, since I'm on my public page as well, find out more about this, you can click the link in and around this video, but it's the THEKBLN.com /connect. Let me see if I can actually write it on here. And all this time, y'all did not tell me I didn't have my banner up to say what this actually was. I did not remember to put it up there, but I'll put the website www. So you guys know this is a new software. I'm actually a StreamYard. I put in our mastery group, they had a coupon over Black Friday where we were able to get this for $10. So it's a great software. Not that the one I had before was super bad, but it was acting crazy. So here you go. That is the website to connect and find out more about what we're doing with the KBLN. I'm excited about what God's doing in your business, ministry, organization for next year, and what he's doing with KBLN. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I will see you next time. I actually have another live stream on my other platform, God Still Heals. We're talking about renewal and refreshing. And so join me over there if you're a part of that. And that will happen at 9 o'clock. And that will be our last one of the year. I'm doing a lot of changes with that particular platform for 2021. So I'll talk a little bit about that and that. But if you can join me over there, that would be great. I will talk to you guys soon. If you have any questions, once you watch this replay, you can put them in the chat and I will get back to you. Or you can DM me, either one. So talk to you guys soon. Have a good one. Bye.